Ancient Greece's biggest port is older than we thought. This is the port of Corinth. New archaeological discoveries add 500 years to the history of this storied harbor. J. Bessel reports. In the ancient Mediterranean, Corinth was an economic powerhouse built on a narrow isthmus. We have the isthmus, a natural choke point between north and south. The city controlled trade between northern Greece and the Peloponnese Peninsula, bound on either side by naturally protected bays. Corinth was also a convenient bridge between the Aegean and Ionian seas. The city's main harbor, located along the Gulf of Corinth, was the largest port in ancient Greece. In previous work, archaeologists examined grave sites and historical documents, revealed that merchants sailed from the port, known as Lecheon, more than 2,600 years ago. In the 7th century BC, they did so in ships likely loaded with pottery, perfume, food, fabrics, to trade across the region. But a recent discovery, 5 lumps of brown coal and a helping of ancient lead pollution, has pushed the history of this pivotal port back by at least 500 years, making it one of the earliest active ports in Europe. The revised history stems from an international research effort that's been surveying the ancient harbor since 2013. Using hand augers and mechanical drills, French geoarchaeologist Antoine Chabrol, and this is one of his images, of the Sorbonne University in France, and his colleagues carefully collected cylinders of sediment from the inner harbor where boats would have pulled upriver to anchor, and analyzing the mud cores, he found a sudden spike in the lead levels less than 3 meters deep. The shift is so sharp and sustained that it could only have been caused by human activity on the riverbank, says Chabrol. Lead pollution comes from smelting, mining, and metalwork, and the scientists dated the pollution in the port to as early as 1381 BC, that's 3,405 years ago, during the Bronze Age. The 5 chunks of brown coal, each no bigger than a matchbox, add further evidence of the port's antiquity. The fragments are a specific kind of coal called lignite, and the pieces collected from the harbor's sediment date to as early as 1122 BC. The nearest known source of lignite is more than 50 kilometers away, suggesting merchants were importing the fossil fuel nuggets to stoke their harborside furnaces by the 12th century BC. And that's about the time of King David, now of ancient Israel. Now, the Bronze Age ships might have paddled from port carrying urns of olive oil, bulk bins of fruit, and narrow-necked jars of wine to Crete, Cyprus, and beyond. Of course, they did have trade with Israel and the Levant. But so far, while the team has found convincing evidence of Bronze Age activity in Corinth's port, they've yet to find pieces of the actual port from this era because it's sunk. They did have earth changes since then. I know because I've seen pictures of where St. Paul the Apostle had traveled, and there are ruins from Corinth and even parts of the port that are sunk under the sea. We know that many times he even had Priscilla. I think it was Priscilla and Achilles were in Corinth. He used to stay with them when he went there. Saint Priscilla and her husband Saint Aquila were Corinthians. So the physical evidence found at the site so far includes stone piers, wooden pillars, and a possible lighthouse. Dates to the 1st century AD or later during the Roman period. But even without physical bronze structures, the findings show that Corinth's port was used consistently for nearly 2,600 years, from the 13th century BC to the 13th century AD. Mycenaean, Phoenician, Roman, and Byzantine ships would have sailed from this strategic location. You can detect their presence in one single site, says Panagiotis Athanasopoulos archaeologist at Greece's Danish Institute at Athens and a collaborator on the project. He said it's like the very essence of historical continuity. Incredibly, though, even this revised age might be an understatement, because it could be even older. Archaeologists have previously found evidence of people traveling through Corinth more than 8,000 years ago, as well as pots from the late Stone Age culture that lived to the northwest alongside the Adriatic Sea, that's towards Italy. Bjorn Loven, co-director of the Lycheon Harbor Project and co-author of the new paper, says this suggests Corinth's maritime trade network may extend even deeper into history. Nafsika Adriopoulou, geoarchaeologist at the Foundation for Research and Technology Hellas Institute for Mediterranean Studies in Greece, who was not involved in the study, says a broader analysis of what metals might be in the soil could help fill in even more details. For example, tracking other metals such as copper, the main component of bronze, could tell geoarchaeologists even more about the port's early uses. Similar sampling in nearby locations could even help reveal ancient trading routes, Adriopoulou said. And the team will continue their work during this summer of 2024, looking for more clues of ancient commerce and bringing renewed activity to this long-built, bustling port. This is edited by Colin Schultz on Hakai Magazine. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.